So here's a guide on how to fit the BAC 3D bar ends. Of course we need the bar ends. We need a razor blade flathead screwdriver, a round file and a hammer, and an 8mm socket and a wrench. And on some bikes you might need Torx wrenches or hex-headed wrenches, depending on which grips you have. So for the hole in the end of your grips, you need to cut them this much. Needs to be as big as the handlebar. It's not enough just to drill a hole, it needs to be big, like this is. If you already have a hole as big as this, proceed to step number 3. If there is not a hole as big as this hole here, we need to remove the grips. And it depends on which grips you have on how to remove them. Some of them are glued on. Some of them are on with wire. Some of them are just pressed on. In this case, for these grips, it is lock-on grips, so they are on with a little screw underneath here that you can undo. To fit your bar ends on the throttle side, you also need to cut a big hole here. A hole that is as big as this one. And to do that, we need to remove this grip as well, if there's not already a hole. And to do that, you need to loosen your throttle. So you loosen it here. Remove the grip. Now we have loosened these 2 bolts. We can pull off the throttle off the handlebar like this, and then we can split the throttle here like this. And then we can take out the grip. Now that we have taken off the grips, we need to cut them, and some of them they are closed ends here. But they are made to get the end removed. So what you can do is you can take a razor blade, you can cut it around here like this. That should be enough on some bikes to take out the end. On some other bikes, you would have to take a flathead screwdriver and a hammer and knock all the way around in the hole until it comes loose. Once the end is out and you need to expand it, so it's big like this, you can take a file and you can expand it until it's as big as the hole in here. So you do not want to have an edge here. Needs to be full clean here. So for this side, when you put back your grip after cutting it, you need to make sure that the handlebar here is wider than the grip. So when you put in the bar end, it needs to stick against the handlebar and not against the grip. So this is where the bar end sits. And this is the throttle side. You put back your grip inside your throttle tube. You put it back on like this. And when you put it in, it is very important out here in the end that the handlebar is the widest point, because otherwise your throttle can get stuck. And you don't want that happening. So put back your bolts and tighten it. And these need to be tightened according to the factory manual. So now that you've put back on your throttle, make sure it turns freely, turns good, and that the handlebar is the widest point, of course. So now we are ready to fit the bar ends. So the way you fit your bar ends is you take your bar end, you put it inside the end of your handlebar, you hold it here, make it expand inside a little bit until it's tight, then you knock it in like that. Then you tighten it up just with your hands. It's enough like that, and you're done. Make sure that your throttle is turning freely like this, and that you have a gap here. This way your throttle won't get stuck, and your bar end won't fall off while riding, so you need to have a gap. So on this side it's the same. What you do is you put in the bar end. Make sure the handlebar is the widest point again. Put in your bar end, you pre-tighten it, like this, and then you knock it in like that. And then you tighten it, and then you're done.